Today I've got a Janome Sewist 525S. Nice little machines, Janomes, as I've said before. It's in for a service. It feels pretty stiff, so I don't think it's been serviced before. I've done quite a few of these. A lot of schools have these, and I do a lot of school work, so I've done a few of these before. Right, first thing to do is strip it down, as always. Take the sewing foot off. Remove the needle plate. I'm just checking the feet are coming above the plate enough to move the fabric, which they are, so I don't need to adjust them. It's easier to do it with the plate on rather than remember later. I've got a feeling this has got a lot of fluff in this machine. I've undone the screw and there's fluff under the head. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's pretty fluffy. It's not too bad. There's no damage on the needle plate. It's nice and clean, which is good. Let's check the damage on the bobbin case. See if there's any little nicks or splits or little cracks that can stop the thread coming around. There's quite a bit of fluff under there, and it's a little bit damp under there, so I think the customer might put a drop of oil under there. It's about the only place that you can oil it without stripping it down. I don't know what they've been sewing, but it's very black. Strange black fluff, so I don't know what they've been sewing. Sorry about the compressor noise. Just removing the screws. There's one in the back here. There's two self tappers up there. There's going to be one on the side. Take the end off, which there is. Another little plastic cover there, cover the screw. Let's spin that screw off. Take the screw out if it flies across the room. Pull that off. Right, now to take these apart, have a quick look to see what I'm doing. Yeah, you got to take the lamp out. I'll turn that off and let that cool down a bit. The actual lamp covers the screw. I need to get at this screw here to take that off. So it's easier to pop the bulb out. Take that little bit off there. That will let us take this cover off. Got to get the bottom off to loosen some more screws. Check you can see this. Yep, so there's one there, another one there, take these out so we don't drop them. The magnet, that's it. Another two at the bottom. Pick that up in a minute. Another two at the ends. And just slip the bottom off now. Yeah, it's quite a lot of oil in there. Someone's flooded it with oil, which is never good. Put too much oil on the machine, and when you come to sew, it just gets all over the fabric. So, taking the bottom off and just squirting oil in it. That's fine. It's better to put some in than none. Actual oil pad is a little bit wet, so we put a bit more on there. Just got to find out why it's so stiff. Let's take that off for a sec, unplug it. So now we've got another screw, a couple of screws right in the end here. There's one here and one here. What I normally do is take the one that's going into the metalwork, that screw there, and then we just loosen this one off because this slides away like so. Don't need to take that one out. And then we need to pop the casing out the way. And there's a screw hole here, but I'm not sure if that's to get a long screw. There might be a long screw in there. No, that's going to be to adjust. That will adjust, that screw there will adjust the stretch stitch. So what we need to do now is on these machines you have to get a screwdriver to lever this up. Like that, and it pops. And then there's another screw. Ooh. Little black screw up here, which just holds the top on. And you can ease it away. Like so. Always fun. I'm going to separate these machines. Find the actual casing on these. Clip together really firmly so it feels like there's a screw holding it, but there isn't. Just got to be firm. Got to get it apart. Eventually it will just pop. He says, sometimes you need to just put a little lever in there and just twist. Just checking. I've got on the screw. And screw there. Ease it apart. The front comes off first on these. I've forgotten the screw, which is right deep down in there. It just needs loosening off, I think. There we go. Pops this front cover off like so. I'll stick that out of the way, and then there's another screw which you can't get to until the front cover's off. Just see it there, which is right in the corner at the back. Which gets that one off of there. That should just come away now. Like so. Probably don't have to take the back cover off to get to everything, but it just makes it easier. It only takes us a couple of more seconds to take the back one off. So now we have a naked machine. So we can get to all this here, all that there, and then we can plug it in and run it. Like so. Right, I'm going to check the timing first. That's good. And good on the left and the right, so the timing's good. All I'm checking for there is to check that the needle, the eye of the needle comes down, and when as it goes up it meets the hook point just above the eye of the needle, and you must check that on both sides of the zigzag. On this machine the furthest timing mark really is on the left zigzag, wide left, so that's when the needle's at its furthest part away from the hook. But that's all good. Right, next thing to do, check the belts, check they're not too tight or too loose. That's okay. That's your timing belt, top and bottom timing. There's your main top shaft, there's your bottom shaft, and it times the two. If you don't have that right, you'll never sew. The fabric won't move at the right time, the needle won't catch the thread on the hook. But they don't really slip, the timings don't really slip on these unless the belt is loose and the machine stops when it's going full speed. Okay, so check the clutch works, just pull that out. That stops the main shaft turning, which it does. Drop of oil on the bobbin winder. Not too much because we're trying to avoid getting oil on the rubber ring. Just drop some oil on all these shafts that are moving when I make adjustments. It's pretty clean inside. It's supposed to know what this black stuff is. That's pretty gooey and horrible. Let's pop it out. Right, we're going to start at the bottom. I'm going to get some oil on the shafts. Check out all this fluff here. Look, you can see it's not just normal fluff, it's all wet with oil. Someone chucked a lot of oil in this. Let me put some in the right places. It's just the main shafts that are turning here. I've got the stretch stitch mechanism working, so that makes the stretch stitch, which is just the feed dog reverse mechanism. It makes that work every other stitch, every third stitch. So that means I can get some oil into those joints. Put some more oil on this oiling pad, which isn't as wet as it should be. Keep that wet, and then that will feed the machine. That's your feed dog drop mechanism. Just get some oil in there, make sure it's loose, which it is. Nice simple machine, this one. I'm just going to oil it here, which will drop, the oil will run down this into the bottom of the hook. That's good. Come up to the top of the machine. Again, we can see the mechanism here working for the stretch stitch. So we get some oil onto that, onto the feed dog mechanism, a bit in the middle of the hook. Next thing to do, I'm just going to get an old needle, slip it in between the tension discs, make sure there's no fluff in there. You do that by opening up the discs by lifting the presser foot. You can see that working. Hopefully you can see that working. You lift that up, it releases the tension. Just check for fluff in there. That's good. I'm just now checking the linkages on the needle bar. Check there's no thread caught in between the linkage. You see a lot of machines now, they get thread wrapped around them, makes them stiff. And we're just going to work a little bit of oil into this end. So not too much, because it gets on the fabric. If you are doing this, just mind your fingers if you're running it. Can't really show you all the bits I'm doing in here. Just trying to watch everything that turns, rubs against anything metal. Drop on the presser foot bar, keeps it nice and just lubricate it because that gets stuck otherwise. That's working. And down deep inside here, don't know if you can see it, try and point this here. You've got all your cams here for your patterns. You've got a thing here that moves. Let me show you it moving. Just stick this back on for now. I think we're on C. Okay, so as I turn this, you can see this bar here, this mechanism here will go up and down. This bar to change the stitch. So what you need to do is make sure you get oil on that bar, both sides, so it doesn't stick, because there's a spring that brings it back, and if it's sticking and the spring doesn't bring it back, when you adjust stitches it doesn't come back to the one it should be on. But that's nice and free, you can feel it moving nicely. Never force this, if it stops don't force it. That's good. I'll get it back onto wide zigzag. That's pretty much it lubricated, there's nothing else to do. Just checking around for any bits I've missed. Probably put a little bit on there, just on these shafts where this turns. That's it, a bit there and there. All this does is just the length of stitch. I'm just going to hit this mechanism here, which is the buttonhole. Just get it onto buttonhole. Just going to check that's working. Let's see. Okay, that's on buttonhole now. So when I run the machine, run it, and then the foot will push this, and then it will do another few wide bars and come back. So on this machine you have to turn this and reset it to do another buttonhole. So a few bars, then it's coming. That pushes to reverse the direction of the fabric. And that's good. So the buttonhole's all working now. That's good. I'll put that on to C again. Okay, so yeah, nice machine. Nothing wrong with it. Just needed pretty dry in some of the places, and some places it was far too wet. But now it's all good. I'm just going to clean up the hook so you don't get any of that horrible black stuff. Still don't know what that is. I think it's just sewing fluff mixed with oil, sewing machine oil. Take the needle out because we're going to put a new one in a minute. Throw that away. Nothing in the tension. Let's see, one more place I want to oil. We'll do from the back. That's good. There's a little bar that takes the needle bar, it goes left and right, and there's like a piston through it. Get a bit of oil on there and that will stop that seizing. It springs back. When a machine does a zigzag, the cams push it one way to do one side, and then when the cams release, the spring brings it back. If you don't oil them enough, it doesn't come back, so you just end up doing a straight stitch on the left rather than a proper zigzag. If they're a little bit stiff, they don't come back quick enough, you end up with all different size zigzags. The actual V will vary, so if you start to get varying V's on a zigzag, you know it's due to be lubricated, because it's not coming back fast enough. And then when the machine's running full pelt, if that doesn't come back in time for the next stitch, so it really does have to be instant. There mustn't be any resistance at all, otherwise you'll get bad stitching. Okay, so now to put it back together again, we just do it in reverse. So grab the back panel, make sure you lift the handle out of the way, and then you actually have to feed the back panel over the electrical box. And you have to just stretch it a bit just to get it over the switch, and then just make sure it shouldn't be tight, it should just all go in. If it's too tight, you're doing something wrong. It's just a matter of wiggling, don't force anything. You've got to make sure these forks are this side of this metal, and once that's done, that fork should line up with that hole, that fork should line up with that hole, and you know it's all good. Obviously these are the screws that hold the bottom plate on, so it all holds itself together. What you mustn't forget is to put this screw back in the centre at the back, because that's the only one you can't get to once the front panel's on. If you forget that one, you've got to take it all apart. I've done that before. I'll take the whole thing apart just to put that screw back in. So that's the one to remember, very important. And then we can, so look, what we do now, tighten up this screw here, just to hold this bottom on there. That's all done. There's a couple of screws at the back have to go on, but we'll do those. We can't do those yet. We could do one, but we want to do these two here and lock the two casings together. Again, we're going to pop that in, thing to remember is that slot there takes this dial, so first thing to do is to get that dial in the slot like so. And the next thing to do is to get this part here underneath like so, and then it all just should clip together. It goes together a lot easier than it comes apart, to be fair. Just make sure it's nice and low and everything's clicking. Like that. Again, these two forks here, I'm going to go this side to fit in these screws. A bit high at the moment, so just ease it down. That's it. And then the casing should just clip together. What I normally do is get it half lined up, make sure it's all together, and then I just do that, and that snaps it all in. Just one jerk both sides, and let's get at the top. And before we screw it all together, just check all the sides are on and joined up, which they are. We can actually put this back because we didn't need this colour. Put that one back. We can put these two back. That one there, and that one's going to go about. I've moved this, so I don't know where it goes. It's going to go that way, like that. That goes there. That's your reverse mechanism. That's working. You can see it moving the teeth, moving the feed dog. So now I'm going to tighten up the screw down here. It's really good. Doesn't need to be too tight. It's hard. Don't do this with it plugged in because you've got all electrics here. If you put your finger in it, you're going to hurt yourself. Don't want electric shocks. In fact, I don't recommend you leave it plugged in at all. If you're looking for running it while you're oiling the machine, just turn it by hand. All that's doing is moving everything without having the machine plugged in. So unless you really know what you're doing, don't run it with it all in bits, because you don't want you electrocuting yourself or stabbing yourself, or any tools you're using to adjust things, or oiling cans. If you're running the machine and they get stuck, it can put the timing out, and then you've got more work to do. So I officially recommend everybody doesn't plug it in while they're servicing it. There you go, the words are said. I do it because I sort of know what I'm doing after all these years. Okay, let me just find these screws again. So we've got another one here, little screw here, goes back in there. And everything lines up nicely on these machines. As long as you just clip them into place like I showed you, everything will move. So we put this back in. I've tightened the screw back there. I'll put the lamp back in, so we don't need to get behind that again. We've got a screw at the back, which is going to be probably that one there. I think it's quite a long one. That holds this. We've got these two self tappers which join the two casings together at the top. Not too tight on these because it'll strip the thread and there'll be nothing to hold the two bits of plastic together. So nice and gentle. When you feel the resistance, just nip it up. We can put that cover back on there. We've got this black screw here, which went in the top. Again, you can see how everything just lines up for me. There's nothing, I don't have to move anything because they're so well made, nicely engineered. And then we have screw the bottom on. Like so. We've got 4 screws go in this. One I dropped on the floor, so I've got to go and find that now. One there. So not only does this hold the bottom on, it also holds this side. So that's where those forks were. There's 2. Again, there's no lining up, it just finds the holes. Just go and find that screw. Easier said than done. It's annoying because you hear the screws fall on the floor. When you go to find them, they've magicked away. Oh, that's it. I've got it. Okay, that's number 4. We've got another 2 which hold the end on. All lining up nicely. And then we'll move this back and forwards, which drops the feed dog down, bring it back across and they pop back up again. That's all working. Sometimes that bottom switch doesn't engage properly when you put it back together again. Today it is. You just check the lamp's working before I put the side on, which it is. The side on these just snaps into place, I think. There you go. One more screw. That's great. So everything lines up. Little cover here for the screw. I've actually managed to cover this whole machine in oil. It's off my hands. So I'm just going to wipe off the excess oil. I'll do it a polish at the end. You don't want oil outside of the machine because it will get on the fabric, and I'm a bit obsessed about that. There's nothing worse than maybe making something nice in cream colour, nice, and you've got oil stains on it. A brand new project with oil stains, nothing worse. Especially if it's a dress, like a lot of people do wedding dresses. You've got a nice ivory or white wedding dress. It's got oil stains on it. Whoever's making it won't be very popular with the bride, and I won't be very popular with the customer. So get it as clean as we can. It gives ourselves all a chance. Right. So I'm just going to put a very small drop of oil on the hook where the bobbin case sits. I'm going to try the bobbin in the case just to feel the tension before I install it. Yep, it's about right, it's good tension. Drop the bobbin case in, followed by the needle plate. Check that still a bit of fluff in there, black, horrible black stuff. Just gonna make sure it's perfectly clean. So you don't want black marks on anything in this machine. Things with sewing machines, it is the little things that cause big problems. There's nothing major on a machine, everything's small, but it's all got to be right. One thing out leads to another, so you get the basics right while we're assembling it, and there's nothing to adjust really. I should imagine with this machine I'll thread it up, sew it, and it'll be fine. I won't need to adjust a thing. Maybe slight tension adjustment on the bottom, but that's about it. Okay, everybody gets a nice new needle on the service. You know, it's nice and straight and sharp. Make sure it's the right way around. On this machine, it goes with the flat side to the back. It's nearly always the flat side goes opposite the bobbin case for the bobbin. The bobbin's at the front on this, so the flat side goes to the back. If the bobbin was onto the left, like the older machines, then the flat side would be on the right. That's good, and it actually sounds a little bit freer now. Okay, we get our thread. Use some of my thread, the white stuff. I've got blue fabric to sew on so we can see what's happening. Up it down there a few times, pull the clutch out, push the bobbin winder. You see it's winding nice and evenly, which is what we want. Don't put too much on there. Drop that in the bobbin case. Okay, thread the needle. What we do then, as I said before, press the foot up to release the tensions, and the thread goes down over the tensions, back up into the take-up lever, down through the guides, then the foot can go down, bring the needle up to its highest position, put the needle threaded down to engage, and hopefully it won't miss. No, that's good. The needle threader actually works. Needle threaders always hit and miss for me. That's good. I would take the thread up and down once, pull the thread up, we're ready to sew. Cover over that, get a bit of fabric. Okay, first thing I do is a straight stitch, which is A, quite long. Tie along, check the reverse works. Lovely. Quick look underneath, yeah, that looks good. Something caught there, but that was my fault, I think. Let's try that again. I stopped it halfway through a stitch, which I shouldn't have done. Making a pig's ear of this. Try again. Again. So a nice straight stitch. Now we try zigzag. Zigzag always shows up a bad tension. Yeah. Yeah, lovely tension. Like I said, I wouldn't need to adjust anything. I could sort of feel it in the machine. Bit E to do. Sounds lovely. You can hear it. Isn't just a quiet machine. They're just well made, these. Okay, we give it a bit of stretch stitching to do, so put it on D. Maybe to G. It's lovely, and we'll just give it a little bit of something decorative to do. Put it onto straight stitch, and then this buttonhole. Let's try the buttonhole. Pretty good buttonhole, considering I didn't put a buttonhole foot on. So there you can see, nice straight stitch, zigzag, decorative stitching, and the stitch looks the same both sides. And that pretty much is the end of the service. Nothing else to report. Everything was good. This was a nice machine. It was never going to be a problem service, this one. Recommend Janomes all day long if you're watching it and thinking, what machine should I buy? You can't go far wrong with one of these. They're a good make. They're well designed. Parts are easily available. I've got all the service manuals for these, so all the parts lists. A lot of manufacturers you can't get them anymore, you can't get the parts lists, they're just a pain to find bits. But you know, make it very easy for us repairers to order parts off them, find what we need. It's a nice company to deal with. Give that a quick blow. A lot of oil under there as well. Yeah, it's not often I see machines that are over oiled, but this certainly was. Too much oil in the wrong places. But, at least I've had a go. Most machines I see just bone dry, never been oiled, so shouldn't moan too much. Then you've got a straight stitch in the middle. That's it. Yeah, and my little stickers on there. Shows when it was done and who did it and when it's due next, which is a year's time. It's April 2025 at the moment. I don't know when you're watching this video, but that's what it is today. Nice spring day. Summer's coming. Okay, that's pretty much it. Just let the customer know it's ready. Get her to come and pick it up. Thank you for watching. Really do appreciate you watching. I love the comments when you send comments, so makes it all worth doing. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please hit like if you haven't. If you didn't like it, let me know why. Always open to criticism. I used to do bad quality videos, and the pictures are better quality now, so I do take note of what people say. I've got better lighting in here, so that's helped. I can't always zoom in on everything because I need 3 hands if I'm doing that, and I've only got 2. Apart from that, that's the end of a service for a Janome Sewist 525S. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.